Well, the simple answer to the question you just clicked on is yes. No. Kind of depends. This is a question I'm actually being asked quite a lot by a lot of you out there. You're saying to me at the moment, is it actually worth bothering to become a pilot when the future is just so uncertain? The current state of aviation is interesting right now. I mean, domestic travel here in Australia is slowly starting to open up as our numbers come down. International travel is a completely different thing though, and I don't realistically think we'll be traveling internationally from Australia for some time to come. IATA did say that the likelihood of us getting back to the 2019, the pre-pandemic level of international air travel will take at least 3 years. If then, to be honest, I mean, I read that before, but do we really think international travel will be back to the same levels in 3 years' time? I mean, I hope so. I was just about to film something else, and can you see up here? You probably can't see this in the sky, but listen. It is still so strange to see and hear a plane flying overhead. I always used to look up whenever I saw a plane, but nowadays it's like, plane! So should you still go ahead for your private pilot's license if you just want to get into general aviation, recreational flying, the sort of thing that I do? Yes, absolutely. Is now the best time to do it? Well, good things come out of adversity. Yes, we've got a global pandemic on at the moment, and yes, some parts of the world, like here in Melbourne, we can't recreationally fly. But now is the time to call all the flight schools in your local area and just ask them what sort of package they can put together for you once we come out of lockdown, because now is the time that a lot of those flight schools actually want your business. One big caveat on all of that, just before I continue, whenever you have a flying school who asks for upfront payments, like a lump sum, they might say, well, we'll give you a discount on your overall flight training if you pay us everything up front. Be very cautious of that at the best of times, but right now, when flying schools are working off tight margins anyway, and some of them may not be in as good a financial position as they have been previously, now is probably not the time to be prepaying for a discount. Just be very, very wary of that. The other thing that you can do as well is if you're with a flying school right now, have you been learning to fly but you haven't been too happy with your instructor or the school that you're flying with? Well, we all seem to have a little bit of extra time on our hands sitting at home right now. Use that time to find a new school. See if you can at least call them or FaceTime with a few of the instructors and just see if you can find a better fit for you down the line. Use this time to make your future better. But the other side of it is commercial aviation. So you want to be an airline pilot or a charter pilot or fly for a career. Well, if you're going to be a pilot, you're going to be dealing with backups. And the one key thing I would say to anyone thinking of becoming a pilot is make sure you have a backup. That's a backup career that you can fall back on, or backup finances that you can fall back on. It's still worth looking to pursue your dream of learning to fly. We will still fly in the future. Of course, there will be a need for pilots in the future, but there might not be a need for as many of them, and if there is, it's not going to be for a while to come. So you may get to the point where you study, you get all the experience and qualifications you need, but you might not be able to find that elusive job. Just briefly, obviously Albert Park is where they hold the Formula One Grand Prix. This is the tunnel that goes underneath the track. The track's just above me here. I just thought that was interesting. I've had a few of you asking me about aviation degrees, as well as it worth doing a preset course to get an aviation degree to get into the industry. Now is not a bad time to think about alternatives. So if you can defer for a year, maybe do something else. Maybe try another career for a change. Maybe just work for a year to earn some money so you've got that financial backup in case you don't end up getting into aviation. Deferring your aviation career for a year now seems like an awful idea. And you're thinking, well, I don't want to put it back another year. I've wanted this for so long. But the thing is, if you become a pilot at the age of 26 as opposed to a pilot at the age of 25, when you look back at your career from the future, that time means nothing.
Hi.
Hey, Shannon.
Oh,
What?
my dog's chucking the zooms.
You've been giving it vodka again?
Yeah, he's lost the clock.
Oh my God.
Get out. Get out.
Do you reckon it's still worth learning to fly nowadays?
I do. I definitely do. I'm probably a bit biased because I love to fly and it's my field of work. I think a lot of people have had a lot of time sitting at home, and hopefully they've kind of realised that maybe they should start doing what they want to do, and hopefully that's flying. There's definitely still work out there and things to do, and it's a great way to travel and just have a good time.
Flying for fun is one thing. Do you still think it's worth if someone wants to be a pilot as a career in the future?
I think that's a tricky one. I think there are a lot more avenues in aviation than just your big aircraft. I mean, agricultural flying and scenic and all these other avenues that you can kind of look into that you'd find work. I think your airline jobs might struggle for a long time, but I guess it kind of just depends. I mean, everyone's in such a rush to get there. But if you can enjoy the smaller things, then do it.
When was the last time you actually saw an aeroplane for real?
Oh, no, the flight path from New Zealand is over my house.
Oh, so you get to your complaint spot from your house?
Yeah, and I do every day.
You lucky thing. I keep jumping on Flight Radar every time I hear a plane. I'm like, who is it? What are they doing up there?
Oh, is it Steve being annoying?
That's his job in life.
It's standard.
Hi, Steve, if you're watching this. Thank you, Shannon.
No worries, Steph.
There's Albert Park down here in the middle of Melbourne. It's probably my favourite place in Melbourne. And right now, this time of year, it's spring in Australia. All the swans have had their babies. Look. Hello. Oh, hello. Ah, sorry. But there's one really important point that I want to leave you with before you finish watching this video. Alan, Jack, how are you both? There's a phrase I like using sometimes, which is delayed gratification, which is that I know I'll be happy in the future if I just do a few more things now. Like, it's just going to take a couple more years, really hard work and a lot of money of mine, but if I become a pilot, then I'll be happy. Well, my problem with delayed gratification is, yes, I'm sure you will be happy in the future if you achieve those things that you want, but the trouble is, are you missing out on actually enjoying the process and enjoying getting to that point because you're waiting to be happy? Now, you're like me, I'm assuming, because you clicked on this video, you're goal-oriented, you're very ambitious, you want to achieve big things in life, like learning to fly, either for fun or commercially. But the trouble is, sometimes with people like us, we can be so fixated on the end goal. The journey of becoming a pilot and getting that pilot's license in your hand, achieving that freedom that you've wanted for so long, is incredibly rewarding in itself. And I'd hate you to miss out on that just because you think the goal is too risky right now. All of this, it just all comes down to one really simple thing. Just do what makes you happy now. If you want to learn how to fly because you love the idea of learning how to fly, then learn how to fly. It's great fun. And even if you don't become a pilot at the end of it, or even if you become a pilot, but you can't get a job and you end up doing something else, at least you can look back on your life and tell yourself that you learned how to fly. That big goal in the future is obviously very shiny and very appealing, and I know you will want it, and I wish you all the very best with it, of course, but do what makes you happy right now. I'd rather you can look back on your life and think, well, at some point I did learn how to fly. I flew an aeroplane in my life. It might not have worked out the way I wanted it to, but at least I know I gave it my best shot. Okay, thanks as always for watching. Click on that subscribe button if you like these sorts of videos and you're into your aviation. Otherwise, yeah, stay safe. I'll see you in the next video.